Hi lovelies, welcome back again to Eco Designs to Fit. In today's tutorial, I'll be sharing with you guys how to cut and sew a trending stylish butterfly sleeve. Like, I love this sleeve so much and I've been anticipating the day I'll be sharing it on this channel. Okay, so today here we are. I'm going to be sharing it with you guys, and I'll be making this sleeve with just 1 yard of fabric. Now I'll be drafting out my pattern. You can also cut this out on your fabric. So from the top of my pattern, I'm going to come down by 8 inches, and after that I'm going to mark out a horizontal line, just like you can see me doing. Now after this is like an allowance that I left on top. Okay, so this horizontal line now is going to be my top line for my sleeve. Okay, so whatever it is I'm drafting now is going to start from this horizontal line. So I'm going to mark it my shoulder points. Okay, now after this I'm going to place my tape on these points, and I'm going to divide my round armhole measurement by 2. Okay, so I'm using the armhole of my mannequin, which is 14 inches, divided by 2 is 7. So I'm going to place my tape on this point and mark down to 6.5 inches. Please do not mark up to 7 inches. You're still going to understand why. Now after this I'm going to equally divide these points into 2. Okay, so after dividing by 2, I'm going to note the middle, and then from the center fold of my sleeve I'm going to come in by 1.5 inches. Now after this, from the shoulder point I'm going to mark a half circle, just like this. Okay, now after marking this half circle, I'm going to measure it to ensure that I have half of my armhole. Now you guys remember this is half scale of the sleeve that I'm drafting. Okay, if you want to draft out the full scale, go ahead and fold your pattern paper into 2, but I'm just using 1 piece of pattern paper to draft this out. Now after measuring, I didn't have up to 7 inches, so I widened the circle a little. Okay, now after that I'm going to place my tape on the shoulder point and mark down to the elbow points, which is 13 inches. So I marked it out, and the next thing I'm going to do is label it my elbow point. I'm going to divide my elbow circumference into 2. So whatever it is that I have, I'm going to mark it out and then add half an inch for sewing allowance. Now after that I'm going to move down to the length of the sleeve. Now the length of this sleeve for now is 16.5 inches, and that is my 3/4 length. Okay, so I divided my round 3/4 into 2, mark it out, plus half an inch for stitching allowance. Now on these shoulder points I'm going to, from the center fold, marking 8 to 9 inches, and then from the upper part, which is the top of my paper, I'm going to make a circle just like this. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, so just like curve it out. It doesn't necessarily have to be straight. You can see the way I did it. Okay, after that I make sure that I blend it up, and then I am trying to cut it out. After this now I'm going to cut out my armhole area. Okay, so you can see what I'm trying to do. Now after this, the next thing I'm going to do now is go ahead and bring in my fabric so that we cut this out on fabric. Please remember that this pattern is just 1. Okay, so this is like half scale. Now if I want to fold my fabric, I'll be folding into 2. You can see. Okay, now after folding this, I'm going to now place my pattern on it. I'm going to make sure that the center of my pattern aligns with the center fold of my fabric. I'm going to use my pin to hold it, okay, so that it won't like shift by the time I am trying to cut this out. Now after placing it, I'm going to go ahead and cut out exactly what I have on the paper into my fabric. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and cut.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy, and silently, it can build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer, no exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out.
Now guys, as you can see, I am done cutting this out. I'm going to go ahead and remove my pin from the paper, and then open this up for you guys to see what it looks like. Now you can see we have our full sleeve. So this is my full sleeve, and the place that is open is my armhole. Okay, now guys, the next thing I'm going to do is from the down part of this my sleeve, I'm going to come up by 2 inches and place a notch. Okay, so you can see what I'm trying to do. I'll come up by 2 inches and then place a notch. Now this notch is where I'm going to start turning the circle with a bias. Okay, now I'm going to also insert my band. Okay, if you want this your band to be overlap, that means you're going to make it an overlap sleeve, but for mine I'm just going to change it a little. So I'm going to measure the hemline. So what I had there was 9 inches. I'm going to ensure that I cut out band which is by width 9 inches. Okay, and in height I'm going to be making use of 2.5 inches. So I'll place this my pieces into 2, mark in 2.5 inches for the height of my band, and after that I'll measure out 9 inches for the wideness of the band. Okay, and then cut it out.
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away like a...
So guys, as you can see, I'm done cutting out the band. Now the next thing I'm going to do is show you how to sew in your band into the down part of this sleeve. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that the right side of the band is facing the right side of the fabric, and I'm going to stitch with 1/2 inch, and after that I will top stitch. Okay, now I'm going to use this matching color of bias and turn all around the sleeve. I am done with that, and you guys, you can see what the band is looking like. I've turned with my bias, and this is why I notched it. You can see, so from that place that I notch, I'm going to sew downwards. Okay, now I'm doing this because I am not going to be overlapping my band. If you want to overlap your band, that means you're going to be using a button on this. Okay, now this is what I have. You can see how beautiful this is looking, and the circle part is going to be my armhole. Okay, so I'm going to have to notch it. Now this is what the sleeve looks like. You can see. Now let me notch. So this part is going to be on my shoulder, and this part is going to be on the underarm. So I'll go right and fix it on my mannequin so that you guys can see exactly how this sleeve looks like. Okay, so guys, I hope you found value in this tutorial, and I hope you really enjoyed it. Please share this tutorial if you do, so that more people can get to see it. Don't forget to hit on the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel, and remember to turn on your post notifications so that you get notified for whenever I upload a new video. So you guys, what do you think about this sleeve? Please let me know in the comment section. I'll see you guys in my next one.